Podcast Answer Man, episode number 24. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Podcast Answer Man. My name is Cliff Ravenscraft, and this is a production of the Generally Speaking Podcast Network, where life is unscripted. That's our new tagline. I'm so excited about it. It's actually gspn.tv, where life is unscripted. And we're working on the t-shirt design now, so stay tuned for information about that. But I'm here with you today to share one of my personal pet peeves, and just to let you know that if you haven't heard this already, the intention here from this point forward is to kind of make this an almost daily show for podcasters to get some hints in the area of podcasting and new media, maybe some tips and tricks, perhaps ideas about hosting, equipment review, all the things that I'm going to be doing my darndest to learn myself. I want to share with you guys because I'm going to be doing a lot of podcast consulting work. In fact, I just want to let you know that this particular episode is brought to you by Cliff Ravenscraft, Podcast and New Media Consulting. Basically, if you are interested in starting a podcast and you would love to have somebody just answer all your questions right over the phone regarding RSS feeds, setting up a blog for your show notes, how to get into iTunes, where to host your file so it doesn't cost you $1 million a month if you get popular in bandwidth costs. Basically, all of those things. What program should I record into? How do I edit a show? All of those things can be usually done over the phone, and I've done quite a bit of consulting work with folks over the phone. I will go ahead and announce my rate here in the show. My rate will change as of December 1st, but between now and the end of November, I do telephone consulting work at $50 per hour. And I've had several folks who have already used my services and paid that rate, and I can attest that these folks are extremely satisfied with the amount of information they got in just 1 hour. Basically, in essence, what they get, and some of them have even paid for up to 6 or 7 hours, and that was their desire because they had a lot of things they wanted to kind of tweak and do. And so, but anyway, as little as 1 to 2 hours, I can share with you everything you need to know from having absolutely no concept of what you want to do to actually recording your first episode and having it up online and in iTunes within a day or two. And so iTunes is the only thing that really delays anything, but you can still podcast without being in an iTunes, and iTunes will just have to catch up. Hopefully they'll change that in the future. But anyway, yeah, so I do podcast consulting work, and if you're interested, all you have to do is send over an email to cliff@gspn.tv, and I would be happy to talk to you about that. So anyway, so new daily format, kind of, and I'll be doing interviews as well. One other thing that I do want to share with you is that every Sunday evening at 7 p.m., join us live for the live version of the Podcast Answer Man. Now, here is the idea behind the live show on Saturday evenings at 7 o'clock. Basically, what we'll be doing is I'm going to be over at TalkShoe, and you can go to gspn.tv. There's a big, huge banner up there that says every Sunday evening, 7 p.m., join us live for the Podcast Answer Man. You go to the website, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You click on that link. It brings you right into our live show. If you don't happen to have a computer around, you can always just call in from your phone. And if you're interested in doing that, send me an email, cliff@gspn.tv. I'll email you back instructions how you can dial in by phone, even without a computer. And the idea is that I will be recording that show. We did a test run of this past Sunday evening at 7, and it went really well. I recorded it using TalkShoe, but I did not record it locally. In the future, I will be recording this conversation, this ongoing hour-long conversation regarding podcasting and new media, but I'm not going to release the entire conversation in an episode of the Podcast Answer Man. So I'm not just going to take that hour-long conversation and just throw that out here to you guys. Instead, what I'll do is if something really insightful, really helpful, some kind of great dialogue happens in that live show on Sunday evenings, well, then I'll edit that little, 4 or 5 or 6 minute snippet out, and I'll bring that to you as one of these little daily caveats here in the area of podcasting. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about this, and I hope that you will be too, and encourage you, if you don't want to miss the entire conversation, a lot of things that may be important that Cliff just didn't think would, maybe he doesn't choose to listen to Cliff talking about himself in the third person. This is so weird. Anyway, you know what? Just come join us live. Sunday evening, 7 p.m. every week. I'd love nothing more than to sit down and chat with you guys, talk about equipment, talk about new services that can help us out, all these different things. And yeah, totally awesome stuff. So today, I'm here to talk about one of my greatest pet peeves. And it's something that has, a lot of people have been doing this since the early days of podcasting. And, I'm kind of really frustrated that this kind of still goes on. And you can kind of hear what I'm doing right now. I'm actually sitting in front of 2 microphones. This over here, depending on if you have headphones on, this is going to be more drastic to you than if you didn't. But anyway, what's going on here is I have 2 microphones. One's over here on my left and one's over here on my right. Now, that could be reversed for you depending on if you have your earbuds in the wrong ear. But anyway, this is called panning your audio, where basically the where you see this done most is in a scenario where you have 2 people. You have one person who is over here on one mic, and then you have another person who's over here on another mic. And for some reason, either the person who recorded it and produced it themselves, or in the case of an official, listen to this, okay, and this is in both microphones. In the case of an official ABC, very popular Grey's Anatomy official fan podcast, or not fan podcast, but the official podcast, the producer paid by ABC decides to pan like this. They'll put Shonda Rhimes over here and the other girl over here. And you know what happens is here's what happens. So basically, what I want you to do, and this is only going to work for those of you who have earbuds. You might be able to find some other way to work this out. But I don't know about you guys, but I will go sometimes and have the earbuds in my ears, and I'll go to bed at night listening to a podcast. All right. So if I'm listening to a podcast and I want to hear what's going on, I might, it hurts my ears if I leave the earbud in, if I'm laying down on my side and put my head on my pillow. So basically what you have in that scenario is, what if I take out my left earbud, so I'm laying on my left side, and so basically this is what happens. This is actually what I hear in my right ear. And you can still hear me, and I could probably adjust my voice up until the other person, the co-host who's on the other mic, that's kind of frustrating. Yeah, it is. Because, you shouldn't be panned, because it's horrible to think that you have to, put your other earbud back in to hear the person over here. Whereas if you don't have that earbud in, you sound like this. But the other person comes in real loud, and it's really frustrating and annoying. And so I'm going to stop doing this now because it's already annoying me. So, that is my little caveat today. I wanted to share with you my personal pet peeve is that, please, please, please do not pan your audio. And, I'm actually looking at my lines here as I'm recording this into GarageBand, and I'm wondering if you even heard any of that. So, we'll see how this works out. But anyway, my whole point of this whole discussion is simply do your audience a favor and either record in mono, or please try to get rid of that little effect of trying to give the presence of the room where the 2 individuals are. Don't even, what I was just doing is called hard panning, basically going all the way right, all the way left. Some people say, well, maybe if you just pan, do a soft pan to the left and a soft pan to the right. Don't do any of it. Give us the full audio in both ears, so that when a Cliff goes and puts his head down on the pillow, he can hear you in both ears without riding the volume button or turning off your podcast because it's just so darn annoying. Anyway, that's what I have for you today in this episode of the podcast Answer Man. And hopefully this worked out. You heard me when I wasn't actually talking into the one microphone. Anyway, God bless you all, and I hope to see you guys come join me live Sunday evening, 7 p.m. every Sunday night. Come talk podcasting. And the cool thing is not only get to talk about it with me, but you get to talk about it with other professional podcasters out there and hobbyists alike. So we'll talk to you soon. God bless, and bye-bye.
This program is a production of the Generally Speaking Podcast Network. You'll find this and other podcasts on our website at gspn.tv. Thanks for listening.
This show is brought to you by TalkShoe. Create your own internet talk show. Check it out at talkshoe.com.